Blank is back. Nadz, our phone screener, who we have not been allowed to talk about for the past 45 days or so after his arrest. He's been in rehab 28 days. He just got out. He had a court appearance on Friday. He's back in the saddle today, answering your questions. 866-YO-ROVER. I have a list of questions here, full page almost. Do you want to stop using drugs?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. I wanted to die for a little bit.
Because this is a different answer than you gave me 45 days ago when I talked to you on the phone, the day that you got arrested.
What did I say to you?
Yeah, I can't tell you right now that I want to stop using drugs.
Sure. Yeah, that was my attitude for a while. It was my attitude at the beginning of rehab. Absolutely. I was pulling the wool over everyone's eyes that I could. I've become pretty adept and good at lying and hiding. And I mean, I basically had a second life that nobody knew about.
You also would blame a lot of these things on the trazodone that you were taking.
A lot of trazodone.
Are you taking trazodone now?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So maybe I'll stop that, too. I'll have to talk to a doctor, but that's just been for sleep only. But I've seriously, my brain turned back on when I was in rehab. I was hijacked by heroin. I was a crazy person. And my brain turned back on, and I'm like, okay, let's try to ride this out.
They pull you over for driving erratically. They find the syringe in your car. At some point, you have to make a phone call to someone to let them know you're in jail. Who do you call? What do you say?
I made a few phone calls to my parents, to my girlfriend. I let them know the situation.
What'd your dad say?
Not happy. He was really not happy. My mom was very concerned. Girlfriend very concerned.
What does your dad say? Do you call him before you called your mom?
Yes.
And what do you say to him?
He was local. Like I asked if he could come get me, but I let him know. And he was just very short. He was pretty dismissive.
Your girlfriend apparently got on Reddit the night that you were arrested and made a post, and she said that she didn't know that you were on drugs at all.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
She was kind of suspicious in some ways. She was suspicious. I'll actually admit it. She caught me probably a month before everything got bad.
Yeah.
And I tried going to a Suboxone doctor.
What do you mean she caught you? Like with a needle in your
No,
arm?
she found paraphernalia.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm sorry for exposing her, but yeah, she caught me.
Yeah.
And she told me I needed to get help. So I actually had an opportunity before you found out, before I got arrested, before going to rehab. I had an out.
Yeah.
And I blew that opportunity, and I went right back to heroin.
You had pneumonia.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago. Was that drug related? That necrotizing pneummonia? What was that?
I had pneumonia. I don't know if it was drug related, but I was like full blown in active addiction, so I don't know. But I had pneumonia in my lungs. And
Were you doing heroin at the hospital at that time?
No.
Did you tell them when you show up I'm on heroin and all that?
They noticed the track marks on my arms.
Snitzer, hit him with a question.
A lot of times I hear drug addicts have to hit rock bottom before they actually quit. Have you hit that? Or I don't know what your rock bottom is. What do you think your rock bottom is?
I think this is it. This is Doozy, shut up. God.
You're such a moron.
Shut up. I mean, the fact that I'm back here and like I haven't lost everything makes you like you have to lose everything. I don't believe that's possible. I don't think that's true.
Of course you don't believe that's possible. Because you're an addict and everything is rosy. This is rosy.
No.
You got your job.
Yeah,
you
this
have
is
your
really
apartment,
comfortable.
Your parents are good. Everything's great.
No,
Welcome
not everything's
back.
not great.
Now you're gonna cry?
No, I'm not gonna cry, douche. And this is the only issue I have with you. I knew I was never gonna fix this relationship.
Oh, God,
but when
no.
you do stories about Mac Miller dying, Prince dying, Demi Lovato going back to rehab, that's so sad.
It is.
That's sad.
It
But
is.
when it's me doing it, I'm never gonna talk to you
Because
again.
you sit and you lie. You pull all of these cards.
What am I
out
lying
of-
about?
Well, they all do the same thing.
No,
Mac Miller
that's
and
fine.
whoever else is
Am I-
Demi Lovato.
Did I come-
They lie
Life
about
ended.
it.
Did
They
I
lie about
did
it.
I come in here and kiss your ass and
No, I don't want you to have anything to do with me.
Okay, that's fine.
What are the conditions that they've placed on you for your return back to work here?
Not much. I mean, not that everything I've heard. I just had to go to treatment, and that my employment is based upon not being incarcerated. So if I am incarcerated, I'm out. So that's to be determined at the
What
end of the
about
month.
drug testing?
I don't know. They could. I haven't heard.
So they haven't.
I'm
said
in
that
some
you
program. That I was talking to before I went into treatment. But if that's part of the game, then that's cool.
Charlie, hit him with a question.
Dieter and Nadz had a foot race, and Nad's legs just didn't work. He had tickly legs that day, I believe he said.
No,
here it is.
I have tickly hands. My legs just didn't work.
Just bad leg day is what he said. And he just couldn't run. Were you high then?
Not on drugs.
That was just bad. That's just your natural
Just bad,
athleticism.
It was a bad leg day. What do you want me to say?
How about the airplane trip we all tried to take to New Orleans where they wouldn't let you on the plane? I was drinking just as much as you were, and they let me on, but for some reason you got way more messed up.
Yep, I was on Ativan.
Which is what?
I was prescribed the benzo.
Here's right before that trip.
How many did you take? One?
I don't remember.
What about best of?
What? Okay, yes. When you were running best of,
Yes.
we have the video of you that we haven't played, and you are acting extremely weird.
And
Yes.
he said, remember, his excuse was he was watching a movie of himself outside of his brain. He was having a mental breakdown.
Mental breakdown. What?
And because that was right after the hospital when I was on all this medication. That was also an excuse I made. Heroin and Adderall.
So when do you?
I didn't sleep for like
so at
5
the
days.
same time, don't those counteract each other? Heroin and Adderall.
Yeah, one's an upper, one's. It's called a speedball.
I see.
Yeah. I was.
Why do those, by the way, if I may ask?
I don't know.
What's the point of that?
I was so far gone. Like it was just I was a garbage can, just taking
Now,
everything I
when
could.
do you do the heroin? Like so you're running best of. You're sitting here in the studio.
Yeah.
Do you do the heroin before you come in? Do you?
Yes.
Do you go down
That
to
was-
your car and do heroin during a commercial break?
No, heroin was always done before, just like in the morning, so I wouldn't be sick.
Uh-huh.
There were some times at the end of the aftermath, and I didn't know if Snitzer like knew this, but he would cut to me, and I would be like stretching like this, like I was getting dope sick, like real bad at the end of the aftermath. Yeah, and then the Adderall seemed to help with some of the effects of that.
Now, where
Yeah.
do you do the heroin? Is it before you leave to come to work,
Yeah.
or do you get into the parking lot here and do the heroin?
No,
here?
before I leave.
So you drive. So you drive
That's
on
awesome.
heroin.
Yeah.
That's really
45
dumb.
minute
Oh, I know.
drive
That's
on
stupid.
heroin.
30 minutes, but yeah, it's pretty dumb. Yeah, I know it's very dumb.
Did you ever go in the stall here? In
No,
the
I
bathroom?
never did it here.
What about in the parking lot?
No, never in the parking lot.
So
That
you
was
just
like my.
pull over. Yeah,
I
that's
have
the limit.
I have a
Straight.
code,
Uh-huh.
Rover.
Don't shoot heroin at
Yeah.
work.
Where'd all this money come from?
I don't know. I mean, all of my money, and then just like my parents and stuff like that, like just completely conning people. That's what I'm most ashamed of.